What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. So today I want to run you through how to get the most popular and hottest brand name toys and products to then resell back online for a ridiculous profit. Now, one of the benefits of a site, this one in particular called EE Distribution that I'm going to run you here through in a second, is that you're going to source like popular brand names. So stuff like Star Wars, right? Stuff like Game of Thrones, stuff like there's a million different ones here that you can obviously go through. But some of the top stuff, like Frozen and Disney and Hasbro, all the top brands you can source with this site. And one of the best parts about it is once you get, I'm going to run you through how to actually get accepted to this site. Is that once you place an order with these and you can source through this website to find profitable items that you can then resell back on sites like Amazon, eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. We're going to focus mainly on Amazon and eBay here in this video specifically. Then you can use those wholesale, the wholesale invoices from this website to get ungated in those actual brands. So hope that blows your mind, right? So that's the best part about it, is not only can you source these popular brands, not only can you source them for a profit and buy them in bulk from this website that's a reputable company, but it also allows you to get ungated with these brands here on Amazon, right? So with Amazon, if you ever add a product and it says you can't list this product, you need an invoice or you need authorization from the brand owner, right? Well, in this particular case, you can send the invoice as long as it's above a quantity of 10. So for example, if I wanted to get ungated for this Star Wars merchandise right here, right? I would have to buy more than 10 of these here, which it looks like they're $8.92 per case. Let me just pull up an example really fast. It looks like they're $8.92 per unit, sorry, $53.50 per case, and I would need to buy more than 10 of these to get ungated, but I could then use that invoice if I bought 10 or 15 or 20 or 50 or whatever to get ungated to sell that on Amazon, where the highest sales velocity is, the most potential profit margin. Usually, sometimes it's eBay, but usually I've seen that it's Amazon with sites like this. It's a really great way to get ungated, sell profitable brand name products that have a high sales velocity and already are people are already looking for on sites like Amazon, right? So I'm going to walk you through how to actually use this and sourcing some example products here in a second, but I want to cover some things here. Now, I am in no way affiliated with EE Distribution. I'm not promoting this. This wasn't like paid or anything. I'm simply recommending it to you guys to give you value because there's so much potential with this website. So one of the best benefits to a site like this is that they do allow you to tap into their distribution network. They do allow you to use their warehouse, and they do ship directly from their warehouse and package all your stuff into FBA, right? So you don't need a middleman. You don't need to ship it to your house or to your apartment first. You don't need a warehouse to receive these items and then ship them into FBA. Sometimes, to basically, vet the products or inspect them or anything like that or relabel them. They will literally do this all for you, and they're used to doing it. They expect that if you buy on here, you're probably gonna want to ship it into FBA, which is Fulfillment by Amazon for those of you that don't know. So it's a really great way to buy really cheap items and then use their distribution network and their warehouse and their workers to get your stuff into FBA very cheap. Now, another benefit of this is you do have 5% off your first order. So my 5% is already gone, but you can use your 5%. And you don't have to use it on your first order if you're kind of just testing it out. So if you want to save it for like a bigger order, you want to just place like a small order to test out their network or test out their website first with a small order, then I would recommend saving your 5% for a bigger bulk order where you can save a lot more money on it. You don't have to use it on your first order, but it's just recommended by their team. So you're going to get a code in your email when you get welcomed. Another benefit too is you have 50% off because they want to get you acquainted with the FBA program where they actually ship your stuff into FBA. So you get 50% off FBA fees or send into FBA fees for the first 90 days while you're on the website. So that's a great benefit to it as well. I believe, not 100% sure about the percentage. I'm pretty sure it was 5%. I had my orientation call like a week ago, so I don't remember exactly what the charge was, and my units haven't shipped out of the FBA center, so I haven't been hit with that charge yet. But it's 100% 60 cents. I'm 100% positive that it's 60 cents per unit initially, so not with a 50% discount. So right off the bat, it's 60% per unit. So if you buy 10 units, you're looking at $6, right? So it's 60 cents per unit plus 5% of the total order cost, okay? So that's the send into FBA fees. That's all you're paying to get them to label your products, put the invoice together basically, and ship it into FBA for you, right? So you're not paying any other fees but that. But For the first 90 days, you get 50% off that. So that means that it's only 30 cents per unit, and I believe 2.5% of the total order cost. I'm not 100% sure about the 5% or the 2.5%. I'm like 90% sure. Like I said, I haven't been hit with the charge yet, so I'm not 100% sure. But I'm like 90% sure that that's what the guy quoted me when I actually placed the order. And I remember looking into it. I just, for the sake of me, can't remember it right now. So you're getting top brands here. Like I said, Hasbro, Disney, Star Wars, all sorts of stuff like that. And obviously there's a high sales velocity for these. So you're not sourcing like a private label product where it might sit there for a while. No, these are flipping like that, especially when you find a good product that has practically no competition. And they give you all that stuff too. So to give you an example, once I was through my orientation, basically this guy, my product manager or my distribution manager, sent me all the toys that were trending currently and things that he thought that I would like based on an orientation call, which is something we're going to talk about here in a second. And he also gave me some information about the FBA program and things that I should look into that work well with the FBA program. So they really go out of their way to help you. Like I said, they set up the orientation call with you right when you apply and right when you get accepted, and you give them your wholesale certificate. And then it basically acquaints you for about an hour with the site and the best ways to source with this site. So this sounds like a commercial. It's not, I swear. I'm not affiliated with them at all. It's just a really, really, really great place where you can find brand name products that flip super, super well on Amazon. Now, you might be saying, why are you keeping, one of the objections I usually get is like, well, if you knew all these things, why are you sharing them for free on YouTube? Or why are you putting them into a course, to tell other people? Why don't you just do them all yourself? Well, let me give you an example right here. So let's go up and see exactly how many items they have here currently. So it looks like on their website, they currently have about 29,000, a little bit under 29,000 potential items, brand name products that you can look through. 29,000. Can I source 29,000 items in bulk? No. So there's an abundance out here, guys. You got to have an abundance mentality. You can't think like, oh, well, if he knew this, he wouldn't be sharing it with us. No, there's so many freaking products here. And maybe, obviously, not 29,000 of them are profitable items that you want to go ahead and buy, but maybe 1,000 of them are. Maybe 5,000 of them are, maybe 10,000. You have to sort through and see. So there's definitely a market for these, and there's definitely ways to do product research that I will show you. You can obviously resell them back on sites like Poshmark and Mercari. If you're ranking your accounts there, you can utilize that to your advantage potentially in the future if you think that there's a market for items like that. I see these pop toys sell on Mercari all the time for like 10 to 15 to 20 bucks. So you can keep in mind that there's a market for these on Mercari. I know that for a fact. Now, I wouldn't necessarily source these for Mercari because there's no way, or Poshmark realistically, because there's no way specifically to test the sales velocity and the potential profit margin of it. But you could buy a couple and take a chance if you want to. Primarily in this video, we're going to be talking about sourcing for Amazon and sourcing for eBay because those are the two ways that you can basically check 100% or maybe like 90% on eBay, but 100% on Amazon for the actual sales velocity of those items. So, to give you an example, let's just pull up the very first one right here, okay? We'll check this one out. So, Star Wars Retro Collection action figures, Wave 1 case set of 6. So what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to take this to Amazon and I'm going to search for this product to see if there is that product actually on Amazon. So Star Wars, the Retro Collection right here, looks like black boxes with a retro thing, and you have all these characters right here. These are the black boxes right here. You have those Princess Leia, you have the Stormtrooper, you have Han, you have Darth Vader, Princess Leia, Darth Vader, the Stormtrooper, Han. So then is that Luke or Anakin? That's probably Luke. And then Chewie. So then you got Luke and Chewie. So there they are with black in the retro right here. So this is listed for $129. There's 4 sellers currently, but the fact that this is super, super high right here probably means that it's not selling well because usually the margins are a lot lower because the sales velocity is very, very high. So that's the first indicator that this might not be a good listing. So let's scroll down. I bet you it's pretty high. And it is. It's 416 in toys and games. So if we run the Jungle Scout Chrome extension, it's going to tell us it's probably not selling that well. So boom, we can nix that product right off the bat. That's a bad one. That's a bad example of one. Let me find a different one for you. So let's try this one really fast just to give you a better example. And obviously you guys can spend like 20 minutes, 30 minutes finding an item and sourcing through this website and using the techniques that you learn in your orientation call to basically find profitable items. And all you need, it's not like a coupon website, right? It's not like you hop on and you just see immediate products and you have to buy a bunch of them. So that's the drawback. It's like you get the benefit of seeing immediate products, but then you have to buy a bunch of them with coupon codes over and over and over again. It's not like that. Instead, what it is like is you source for like 15-20 minutes, and all you need to do is find one good profitable product with high sales velocity, and then what you want to do is you're going to buy a bunch of them, right? Because then you want that margin over and over and over again, maybe 20 times or 50 times, depending on how many items, and obviously that's going to vary depending on how much capital you have to invest and potentially how much, sales velocity and what the best seller rank is. So let's find this one right here, My Hero Academia Deku Full Cal Glow in the Dark Pop Vinyl Figure. So I'm going to search through this one and see if this one's here. So let's check this one really fast and see what this one looks like. This is probably another bad listing. So you're getting good examples. Actually, this isn't that bad. It's selling pretty frequently in toys and games. It's super new, and there's barely any competition here yet for this, and nobody even has it in Amazon Prime yet or FBA. So that could be a great example. It's super new. It's so new that it doesn't even have a review yet. And if you look over here on the main thing right here, some of these are usually sorted by, sometimes depending on how you're going to sort them. Look, this is hot off the truck right here, and this might be fairly new as well. So this is first to market. You either want to be first to market or last to market. You don't want to be right in the middle. So it also, if you look at some of these things right here too, it gives you like the minimum advertised price, which is like you're not supposed to sell it less than that. It also tells you what the suggested retail price is and some of the MSRPs here. Now, keep in mind that we're potentially getting this at $7.90 per unit if we buy a case of them. Now, if we buy, a case quantity more than 18, then we're gonna get them at $7.40. So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna just assume that we're paying $7.90 for this. So let's see if this is profitable, if there's a good sales velocity, and if this is a legitimate product. So boom, this looks like it's selling very, very well, and whoever actually has this doesn't even have it in stock yet, and the only two sellers on this don't have it in FBA. So this is actually a very, very great product. Now, another way to test, if you don't want to actually look through the used and new, and like sometimes there might be like 3 sellers here, sometimes there might be 20, sometimes there might be 1, sometimes there might be 10. So a great plugin that you can use right here is Online Seller Add-on, and if you hit this plugin right here, it's going to show you how many of each product in quantity those sellers have. So if you look here, Quick Send right here has 5 of them, and they're selling them in collectible condition. While Otaku Toy Collection LLC has 126 of them listed at $31.74, they're also fulfilled by merchant and they're listed as new. So basically what it's telling me is I could buy a number of these, flip them on Amazon for less than $28.91 potentially, and potentially even more than that, because if I ship them into FBA, I'm going to tap into Amazon's Prime and FBA program, so that I might be able to potentially even sell them roughly at the same price or even a little bit more because I have 2-day shipping. And we already know that the two main things that go into who gets the buy box, which is the add to cart right here, is price and availability to the customer. And obviously, if I'm shipping FBA, I have more availability to the customer. So this is actually a pretty solid product. It looks like it's selling well. There's only 2 people listing this so far, and neither of them are Prime. So, and also the margins there, right? So if we ship this in, what we want to do is we want to say, okay, $7.90 per unit is what I'm paying. I could find the FBA calculator and figure out exactly what my margin's for if I shipped it into FBA, right? So to give you an example, we want to take the ASIN here, and I didn't want to do this because I don't want to waste your time, so I'm not going to go too intensive with it. But I paste the ASIN. All this is basically doing here is it's giving me an idea of what my FBA costs are going to be if my product is this weight, this size, etc., etc. So what is the cost of my product, right? So the cost of my product is $7.90. The item price is about $28. I'm going to say $28 because I'm going to list it a little bit under the buy box potentially to flip it and sell it. And keep in mind, if I'm buying like 20 of these, it says that they're selling 9 a day. So that means in 2 days, I would sell out and have that profit margin, okay? I wasn't expecting to find a good product like this. I just stumbled upon it like this, and I honestly might buy this afterwards, because even if you see this, chances are by the time you get accepted to e-distribution and you have your wholesale certificate and you place your order, you'll be way behind me and my products have already sold. So it doesn't really matter if I tell you or not. It's all about being first to market, right? So 28 is the unit price right here. The shipping per unit, if I send it in, is going to be super cheap. So I'm just going to say it because if I'm shipping in a box of like 20 or 10, it might be like 10 cents per unit. It's very, very cheap. And the cost of my product is $7.90. And oh, that's my fulfillment actually. Whoops. That was my fault right there. So ship to Amazon price is 10 cents roughly, and the cost of my product is $7.90. So what would my net profit margin be if I'm paying $7.90 for it, I have all these fees in FBA, right, and I list my item price at 28 bucks? Well, my net margin is about 44.82% or $12.55 per every unit that I sell. So let's just say I wanted to place an order of, I don't know, 20 of these. I might even go more. Let's say I'm going to place an order of 30 because they're selling about 9 a day. Now, does that mean I'm going to sell, 9 every single day? No, I like to take a conservative estimate. So let's say I sell, I don't know, 5 a day, which is probably pretty conservative and pretty low. What basically would happen then is in 6 days I will be sold out of my inventory and I will make $12.55 times 30. And boom, there you go. $376.50 in 6 days. Probably more realistically 4 or 5, but I just like to be a little bit conservative.